Hey everyone, the Money Nutritionist here, and today I want to talk about something extremely important. How to find your purpose in life. This is a big deal because understanding your purpose will play a humongous part in how you make money. If you understand your purpose in life, then making money becomes second nature. Take, for example, athletes. They know what they are meant to do, and that's to play that sport. There's so many people that once they understand the purpose of life, they excel, they help other people, and usually when you help people with a big problem, you can make a lot of money. Tony Robbins would probably be my favorite example of this. Today I want to give you some tools on how you can find your purpose in life if you don't know what it is yet. I've done these same tests myself. I've done them more than one time. They're super helpful. You'll find which one works best for you, but I'm going to give those 5 ways to you right now on how you can find your purpose in life. Let's start with the most difficult test first, and it's called the obituary test. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine that you just passed, and everyone that you know, your friends, your family, are reading about you and your life in the newspaper. They're looking at your obituary. Probably not in a newspaper, more than likely it's going to be on the internet. So they're reading your obituary, and you only have 600 words. That's it. That's like, what, a page and a half? So what you need to do is write what you would want your obituary to say from the beginning to the end. Your family size, where you lived, what you did. Put it all on a piece of paper. What writing your obituary allows you to do is start from the end and work backwards. So think to yourself, where do I want to end up? How do I want to be remembered? And start working backwards of all the details of the things you'll list out in your obituary. You'll say things like, he was a great father of 3 kids. He knew how to create great living spaces for people through his real estate. He created a business that did X. He helped people with his books by talking about Y. There's so many things that it could be. I could go on about the options, but it's your specific obituary. What do you want it to read? Start with the end in mind and work backwards. Now, once you've done the obituary test, you need to start making yourself a little more uncomfortable. So the second test is to get comfortable with discomfort. Something that I've learned is when I do odd things or I do stuff I'm not comfortable with, it really helps me to grow as a person. For example, any business you start, you have to know how to sell. So that's very uncomfortable, and it's going to take some time to get comfortable with sales. So that's just one example of why this second test is very important. So some things you can do to work out your uncomfortable muscles to make them more comfortable are things like this. You can just walk into a store and start singing. So just randomly in an aisle, just start singing. Take my horse to the Old Town Road. That's not Old Town Road. Another thing you can do to stretch those uncomfortable muscles is just go out to eat by yourself. But don't take anything. Don't take your books, laptop, cell phone, leave it in the car. Go eat by yourself. Yeah, it's super uncomfortable and weird, but don't sit at the bar where you can watch TV. I'm talking about a booth, by yourself, secluded, ordering food. You and your thoughts. So do something that makes you uncomfortable. And the last one I would say for this is if you really want to freak people out, walk on an elevator and just stand beside someone and look at the back wall. Don't face the door. Just walk into an elevator and face the back wall. Just stand there. And people will freak out. But because you're making them uncomfortable, but they're not used to that because they're not doing the tests like you are. So test some weird things out, do some stuff that's a little uncomfortable, and it will help you to grow and start looking at things a bit differently because you're not uncomfortable with change, and so as you grow, you become stronger. So the next test you can do is give yourself a life statement. A life statement is literally a sentence that describes your life. So the way to figure this out is to first think about, what do you value? What are the things that you value in this life? Is it family? Is it money? Is it a job? Is it having a purpose? Is it freedom? Is it being loved? Is it caring, sharing, meeting friends? Is it religion? Is it schooling, education? Whatever it is, what do you value in life? Now, after thinking about some of the things you value, think about what qualities and values you have that you could not do without. These would be values you always want with you. Again, it could be religion. It could be always eating healthy, always trying to learn, always experiencing new things. Whatever those things are that you value, that's what you want to start thinking about now. So you've got 2 things. What are the things that you value? And then what qualities and values that you have do you always want to have? The next step in this process is, what do you actually do? What do you want to actually do? Now, a lot of people don't know what they want to do. That's okay. If you don't know, then just write down what you do now. Do you sell? Are you an account manager? Are you an accountant, lawyer, doctor? Whatever that is, write that down. So now you've got three things. You've got the things you value in life. You've got what values and qualities you have that you always want to have. Then you've got what you actually do. Now for the last part. To what end do you do these things and value these things? Now this is tricky. You're going to probably want to take a second to think about this. You have these things that you value along with your own qualities and your job. Why do you do these things? What is the purpose? Now it's going to take some time and you might not come up with an answer. And that's good, because you need to really try to be introspective and think about why you are doing these things and to what end, okay? So what you're going to do once you have this information is try to write out a one-sentence life sentence, okay? That describes your life based on the values, qualities, and things that you do. Try to get to that one sentence that takes into the things you've written down. Now this exercise is probably the most trickiest, because you're asking yourself, do these values and qualities and what I'm doing right now get me any closer to my life sentence and my purpose? Now, if you don't know what that is yet, leave it blank. And there's other exercises that can help you to start creating that sentence. The next thing you can do to help you create that sentence is the money test. The money test is figuring out how much money is enough. It's the question we all ask ourselves. How much is enough? And they always say, well, you can say 1 million, and then once you get 1 million, it becomes 10. So some people say there's never enough, but right now we're gonna figure out how much money is actually enough. Here's what you're gonna do. You're going to add up all of your expenses, all of them. Your car payment, student loan payment, credit card payments, how much you spend in food, how much you spend on eating out and entertainment, travel. Add up every single expense that you have. And I think the biggest one I left out was rent and mortgage. Make sure to add that. I want you to take all of your expenses and figure out what 25% is. 25% of all of your expenses is exactly what you would need to live on every single week. Now, what I want you to do is ask yourself, if you got a check for this amount every single week, what would you do? What would you do? Because that amount should be covering all of your expenses, right? So what would you do if you got a check for 25% of all of your expenses every single week? This is the money test. And it's discovering if you reached financial security, financial independence, whatever you want to call it, what you would do with your life. Now, the last test that you could do to try and find your purpose in life is to help someone else. And this could be a friend or family member, but what you're doing is help them to solve a problem that they're having. I'm not talking about some easy problem that they have, like, hey, I need this bill paid for. I want you to help them solve a tough problem. This could be some life issue. This could be like figuring out what they want to do with their life. It could be figuring out how to budget, how to invest. It could be whatever it could be, building a barn in the backyard, I don't know. What this will help you to do is, once you help one friend solve a tough problem, I want you to look at other friends and either talk with them or try to figure out what other tough problems they're having in their life. What this will train you to do is start looking at different aspects around you to problem solve. Problem solving is one of the best ways to make money, but it's also one of the best ways to help people. When you help people, you make more money. When you help more people, you become more fulfilled. And when you become more fulfilled, you feel like you have a purpose. What you'll notice is when you start trying to solve problems, the quickest ones that come to you are problems you really care about. And a bonus test, besides all of these tests that you've already been doing, is the set a date test. What I want you to do is use the power of social accountability. So you are going to literally email 10 people a specific date by which you will accomplish either your life sentence, some type of money goal, whatever it is. I want you to email or text 10 people a specific date on which you will accomplish something. This will force you to be socially accountable to reach that goal. And it's highly effective, because what happens if that date hits and you haven't met your goal? You look like an ass. So that's just the bonus test that you can try out. Any one of these tests could be the one that gives you that breakthrough to get to the purpose of your entire life. I think for me, the one that I liked the best was the obituary test, because I wrote down exactly what I wanted the end of my life to look like. And what I did is I did a step-by-step process of, if this is what I want by the time that I pass, what do I need to do in order to reach that goal? And then I set basically miniature goals in order to reach the big overarching goal of my obituary. I even went as far to define the exact age that I wanted to die. Maybe I should try the date too. But that gives you a framework from which you can live your life, because it did work for me. So I really hope that these help someone. Write down in the comments below what your life statement is. I would really love to know what you come up with, because this is a journey that we're all on. We all get one life. We're all trying to live it the best that we can. So we have to try and help one another, because that's what it comes down to. So I hope that I've helped you. Definitely tell your friends, and I can't wait to hear what your life statements are. Ride till I can't no more. That's not Old Town Road. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to stay updated on the latest. But more importantly, to stay updated on YouTube, press the subscribe button below.